Today I'm going to judge Shounen by how well written their female characters are. Yes, I got terrible Sakuna makeup on that I did in 5 minutes. Yes, I got a shitty wig on because I was gonna do a JOJO thing, but I didn't. And, ignored the mattress. I have sheet there. Yeah, so if you think I got something wrong about some of these shonen, just tell me how I got it wrong in the comments below. I'm not rewatching any of these. Some of these I watched a long time ago, so it's just gonna be based off what my brain can remember, which isn't a lot. But here we go. Let's do it. Shonen tier list based off how well written the girlies are. I look stupid. Okay, I won't deny. This is gonna be a bit of a low effort post. I'm not good. There's no script. I'm just gonna start and give my honest, truthful thoughts. We might want to adjust some of these tiers a bit. S tier is gonna be like peak. Like, these characters are written equally to male characters, if not better. So we're just gonna call this peak. Yeah, there we go. A tier is, these are really good female characters. Maybe the male characters are written a bit better, but you know, these ones still hold up really well. We're just gonna leave it at, it's called A tier. B tier, so A is like our great characters, right? B is, they're good. They might be lacking, but they're pretty good, you know? They're there. They're not the worst. So we'll just, you know what, we will change it up. We're gonna be different. Good, great. C tier is, I don't know. I think I want to go with like average, you know? Yeah, we'll do an average tier. I don't know. We'll see where we go from here. Okay, so we got peak, great, good, average, and D tier is actually gonna be, I'm looking at this list. Some of these aren't even, the characters wouldn't even be average. They would just be non-existent, maybe? Non-existent, existent, slash wasted potential. You know, wasted potential is honestly worse. It's like when you have a good female character and then you just throw her under the bus. I'm looking at one specific anime for this that, I mean, you probably already know. Wasted. And then we're going to make a final tier. Dog shit. These female characters are just so bad. I would just, like, rather the story just not have female characters at all and just be in the non-existent tier. Like, these characters are just absolute dog shit of characters. My anime tier list based off the writing of the female characters. So, number 1, Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho, I'm not gonna lie, was the first anime I've ever watched to completion. Like, this anime means a lot to me. It's so good. Like, it was made by the same person, Togashi, who made Hunter x Hunter, and everybody knows Hunter x Hunter is a great anime as well. Yu Yu Hakusho was his first work, and I think it really holds up. Like, I haven't watched it recently, so maybe I can't say that, but just from my memories of the story and the characters, they're just all too iconic. We got Hiei. You know, he's like our little edgy boy, but he's still a great character. I love his care for his sister and just how the whole friend group works off each other so well. Like, he may be edgy, but he actually cares about his friends. You don't really catch that vibe with Sasuke as much, or other characters probably with a similar aesthetic. There's much more to him. And then we got Yusuke, you know, he's the classic trope of the delinquent with the heart of gold. And you gotta love Yusuke, like, that's my boy. We love Yusuke. He's really funny. I have some issues with the ending of Yu Yu Hakusho and his character, even though I do think it's good development. I personally didn't like it, but I'm not giving a full ass Yu Yu Hakusho review right now. We're supposed to be talking about the female characters. I'm doing a little rundown. Kurama. If Kurama was a girl, he would be best girl. He's already best girl. Look at how beautiful he is. But, you know, I love Kurama. He's my favorite. And Kuwabara, he's also one of my favorites. He's just like the quote-unquote bully. I say quote-unquote because he's not a bully. He's actually really kind. He only messes with Yusuke because he's also a delinquent. And Kuwabara is actually a gentleman, really, behind this like macho, brass persona, I guess you could say. For our female characters, there's not many. There's not many, you know? Togashi, I don't think my boy was the best at writing women from what I've seen from his works. But the ones we do have in Yu Yu Hakusho, they're not bad. We got Botan, I believe her name was, and she's actually, I would say she is a main character. She's with the crew at the time. She is kind of an exposition character from how I remember her, but even with that said, she is really fun. She has a nice personality, you know, she's cute, like, she's a great character. Oh my goodness, I don't want to forget her name. Oh, Ginkai. I love Ginkai. She is Yusuke's trainer. She is a granny, and we love her because you don't see grandma characters in anime that often that are treated with this amount of respect and like how badass she is. Like, we got the grandma from DandaDan that's literally just looks like not even 30. She looks like she's in her 20s, but just has gray hair. I hate how not just anime, but every piece of media, and I saw a Reddit post about this, but every piece of media just loves to take a woman and make her look young, no like wrinkles, no signs of aging at all, and then just throw gray hair on her. In fact, make her super sexy, give her giant badonkers, and you know what, call her granny, and then all of a sudden everyone has a gilf fetish. Like, come on guys. This is not a grandma. I'm sorry, DandaDan fans, but Ginkai is the best granny of anime, and she always will be. She's iconic. She's the OG grandma badass. Like, she knows how to take some hits. She trained my boy Yusuke. I think she trained Kuwabara too, I'm pretty sure. She's really cool. I think she dies in the manga. Spoiler alert for these animes. I mean, you shouldn't be watching this if you're scared of spoilers, but then we got Yusuke's love interest, Keiko. She's kind of generic, not really much to say about them. We got Hiei's sister, kind of same situation. Although, I will say, I like how Keiko, she's like bossy, but she's not unbearable. She's not like a Sakura. She's bossy in a cute and charming way, and she clearly likes Yusuke. She clearly has feelings for him, which she expresses, and, you know, they're cute. Overall, I'm gonna have to say it's not great because we're lacking. We don't have enough, but it's better than average for the ones that we do have. So overall, I'm gonna say it's good. It's just good, you know? It's not bad, it's good. Moving on. Soul Eater. You know, the month is September, and, well, I was gonna say it's close to Halloween, but Halloween's a whole month away. But if you go in any store, you're gonna see Halloween stuff everywhere, so, you know, it counts. Soul Eater is the perfect Halloween anime. Like, this anime encaptures, like, how do I say this? It encaptures Halloween, encaptures all of that. Wow, I said that word like 3 times. I need to expand my vocabulary. But I love Soul Eater, man. I cannot even begin to describe it. It's definitely gotta be on my top something list. Probably even top 10s. Really, when I think about it, I just forget about it a lot for some reason. But when I remember it, I'm just like, this anime hit all the right marks. It was great. I know people hate season 2. There is so much controversy with season 2 because it apparently goes off the trails of the manga, and I do plan to read the manga eventually, but as an anime only, I'm sorry if this hurts anyone's feelings. I liked it a lot. As an anime only, I really liked it. And the female characters are amazing. They are so good. First off, it's gonna seem like I hate DandaDan, but I don't. I just don't like how the fans are for that. But, you know, the fans of almost every anime are toxic in their own little ways. But another thing I've seen some DandaDan fans say is that it's the first shonen to have a female protagonist. And I'm just like, have you heard of Soul Eater? I know there's clearly more, guys. Don't shoot me. But have you heard of Soul Eater? Maka is a total baddie. And I don't mean that in a weird way. I just mean she is so badass. Like, this chick can put up a fight. She is the only one of the cast to make a death scythe out of Soul. And her and Soul's relationship is great. I love how Soul respects her. I love how the cast respects her. We got Peggy and her sister. I cannot remember her sister's names. These characters are more side characters, but they're also great side characters. They're two sisters, and they're very distinguished from each other. I like that, because oftentimes you'll see like characters that are sisters in anime, or even brothers, and they're like kind of twins. Even if they're not twins, they'll kind of act like twins. They'll be very similar in a lot of ways, but these girls are complete opposite, and they're both, I think one of them's name is Patty, actually, when I just thought about it, but they're just both so lovable, and they do great with Death the Kid. Like, every female-male relationship in this anime is so well done. There is so much mutual respect between the weapons and their meister. There is nothing like weird or sexual. I mean, the ships are cute, especially Soul and Maka. They are so cute together, but looking past that, this is just a solid anime. The characters are really solid. The female characters are written on the same level as the male characters. We got Tsubaki, who honestly in a lot of ways is more developed than Blackstar, and Blackstar is great too. I mean, even if you find him annoying, he's a charming character. Tsubaki has her own backstory and lore and history, and you know, she's really sweet, but she has some depth to her too. Like, I think every character in this anime is great. And, not to mention, we got, like, for the time, one of the best female villains in the show. She's a fan favorite, and it is Medusa. We love Medusa. She's great. She's evil, menacing. She kind of is like an early stage Makima. Okay, I don't want to say that because I'm not trying to compare. They're very different. But I'm just saying the amount how this like woman comes in, and she's I mean, she's bad, but and I do mean that in the you know, look at her way. But she's menacing, you know. She's a threat. Like, you actually feel her presence, and she's intimidating to the cast. We got her sister, who's like the spider witch, and she's pretty cool too. She ain't no Medusa, but she is still pretty cool herself. And then we got Krona, which Krona isn't actually a girl. They're more of a gender neutral, I guess, but you know, some people say they're a girl. I think the anime might refer to them as a girl. It might refer to them as a male. I'm not sure, but you know, if you want to count Krona, they're on there. Soul Eater might be an S tier. It's between great and peak. The only reason I'm not lenient on putting it in peak is just because I think overall, and this applies for the male characters of this anime too, they're not like the most in-depth thing, you know? But the female characters are written equal, if not better too. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm just gonna put it in peak, and you know, if something else happens, then we'll shift it up. And you know what, since Soul Eater's on this list, I'm going to add in Fireforce. Okay, solo leveling. I had a friend that just randomly got into solo leveling. I guess everyone did because Mappa announced they were making an anime for it, and you know, Mappa makes anything and it has good animation and it instantly becomes hype or peak. Wait, I just realized I got a Demon Slayer. So yeah, I had a lot of hype around it. My ex went on to read like, I think it has 200 chapters. He read the entirety of 200 chapters in the span of 3 days. When he started reading it, I wanted to have everything in common with him. I was trying to learn all this dude's interests, everything. So I was like, you know what? I love manhwa, and I tell him about manhwa all the time, but of course he never wants to read any of the manhwa I talk about until this specific one that I never talked about before gets an anime. And I have heard of solo leveling way before it got an anime. It just wasn't something I was interested in. I kind of forgot about it, and I forgot the plot of it. And then I started reading it, and I was trying to wait for the story to get good. It doesn't get good. There's like this plot, he tries to help his mom, and that's something. You know, I wrote a massive rant about this anime just because I hate solo leveling, okay? I just don't like it. Okay, I don't want to say I hate it, I really don't like solo leveling. I think it's the embodiment of new gen anime fans. It's just hype farming. It's aura farming, hype farming, sorry. Aura farming, as the kids say. It's just so boring. It's not good. The animation is the only saving grace. And I haven't watched the anime, but I read about 100 so chapters of the manga, the manhwa, and one thing this anime is lacking is female characters. There is this demon girl that's introduced. I think her name's Essel, and you know, when she got introduced, I was like, oh my gosh, a female character? Oh, I was so hyped to like her, you know? And she was all cute, and I loved her character design. I even think I made her my profile picture on Discord just to impress my ex, but he never gave a shit about her. He was just one of the hype, the aura farming fans or whatever. But, you know, I thought when the main character was going to leave the, what is it called? The dungeon, if that's what they're called, he was gonna take Estelle with him. He does not. She's just forgotten. Wasted potential. Absolutely wasted character. There's also some chick at the beginning, I think her name was Juhi, that was played off like she had a crush on the main character or something. I thought she was gonna be important. I don't even remember her barely. Like, it's just such a faint memory because of how much show and the writing didn't care. But it took about like 100 so chapters for them to introduce an actual female main character, and she was introduced in a way where it was like, oh, this is Che. This is what the fuck is Homeboy's name? What is the main character of Solo Leveling's name? Jinwoo, is that his name? I think that's his name. We're just gonna go with it. I'm not gonna look it up. So this girl comes in and she's like, I'm Jinwoo's love interest. I mean, my name's Che-in and I'm an ranker dungeon person that happens to also be one of the only 3 S rankers from South Korea. It's like, okay, we already knew. And she's like, yeah, every S ranker makes me vomit, but for some reason, main character doesn't. Like, girl, we know. Like, you're cute, but she's so boring. She's not very interesting. And she's introduced as a love interest. Honestly, this shit might as well just be dog shit because how bad the anime is, but if I just look at the female characters alone. Also, you know what? I'm not even gonna go into that rant. I know people are gonna say, oh, but solo leveling's still fun to watch. Isn't it harsh to call it dog shit? It's not even fun to watch, man. Like, for me personally. Maybe for you, but just for me, it's just not my cup of tea. And I've read so many manhwa with the plot of the video game setup shit. It's just so common. I really like Dice. I think Dice did this concept of even the main character going from twink to hot better. Also, Jinwoo looked hotter in his OG form. That's just my take. I don't know. He doesn't look as attractive to me. But if I just judge this based off like how the female characters are written, it's not as bad as dog shit because the male characters are dog shit too. And they're not like the worst thing ever compared to how the whole writing of the story's dog shit. They're barely even in there, so might as well just throw it in non-existent. Anyways, yeah, so that's Solo Leveling. One Piece, you know, the anime that either you're a diehard fan of or you hate it because who wants to watch 900 episodes? I'm about past Alabasta, so I'm like episode 150 or 30. I don't know. I couldn't keep up. I had to stop watching One Piece because I started watching Hunter x Hunter, so I didn't really have time to dedicate myself to watching One Piece when I was trying to finish Hunter x Hunter, which is shorter. And, you know, when the One Piece anime comes out, which is going to be Hunter x Hunter, but they don't drag a scene on for an extra hour of just nothing happening, I'll probably watch that. With that said, One Piece female characters are really good up to the point that I've seen. We've seen Nami, who I loved her arc. Like, I was actually shocked at how well done her arc was. I love the scene where Luffy takes off his hat, because we know he got it from, that hat was like one of his greatest treasures. And after Nami, like, who's been stubborn the whole time, she scammed Luffy, she scammed the whole crew. Luffy finds out her story about how this, like, crooked, fish guy took over her whole town, you know, and, like, killed her mom, and, you know, she's been in debt and her whole town thinks she's a traitor, but really she's just been trying to save up money to buy her whole town's freedom. And Luffy hears her story and she's just like, doesn't want to ask Luffy for help, but then she just has a breakdown. She drops on the ground, she's crying, and she just begs Luffy for help. And she also has this tattoo on her arm that was given to her by the fish guy that took over her town. She takes a knife and she's just stabbing herself with it, and Luffy walks over and just stops her, and that's when she asks him for help. He takes off his hat and he places it on her head. He's like, we're gonna help you, Nami. And Usopp and Sanji, they both like lock in. Sanji and Zoro, all three of them, they just lock in. They're like, yeah, no, we're gonna help you. And it's just, you gotta look up the scene. It's a really good scene. It's a really powerful moment from the moment we meet Nami, and she just seems so fun, happy-go-lucky, and then we find out she has this depth to her. And another thing about Nami's character that we learn is that she doesn't lie because of how her adoptive mom, Bellavere, something like that, raised her. She doesn't lie, and we find this out later when Nami's at the brink of death, which I haven't got to this part, but I've seen it on YouTube, like a lot of One Piece fans. I haven't got to this part, but I know what's gonna happen. But we see Nami on the brink of getting killed, and all she has to do is say Luffy won't be the king of the pirates, but she refuses to because she believes deep in her heart that he will be the king of the pirates. And just mad respect for how she is. She's also has an amazingly important role on the ship. She is the navigator, which is really important. Like, they need her. She isn't just some, like, replaceable character. Not that any of them are replaceable, but, you know, I would say her role is objectively more important than some other people's roles might be. Now, there's also Robin. I know Robin's a great character. From what I've seen of her, I really like her presence, her aura. I like how she is and her design. I mean, although I would wish the One Piece women would have a bit more realistic body proportions. But you know, this isn't an art critique video, it's more so of a writing critique, a writing judgment, I guess. I just haven't seen enough of Robin from the point that I'm on, but from what I have seen of her, I think she's a really good character. The Princess of Alabasta, I loved her. I think she's good. She was kind of similar to Nami in some ways, but distinguishable enough. And I like how when she's introduced, you don't really think much of her. She seems like a bandit almost, or like a Team Rocket with this other guy, but no, she becomes a huge part and plays a big role. And, you know, there's so many well-written females in One Piece. I think it's great, if not good. It's got more female characters than Yu Yu Hakusho, so it's better than Yu Yu Hakusho. You know what? We'll put it in great. It's pretty good. I like the characters a lot. I think they're pretty deserving of great. Even though I haven't got to see the full female cast yet, I've heard a lot of things, but from what I have seen, I can tell that they will be really great. Alright, next on this list, we have Naruto. So Naruto is notorious for how poorly written their female characters are. And that is for a reason. You know, we got one of the most annoying female characters, Sakura. There's video essays defending her and all kinds of stuff, and then there's video essays absolutely railing into her like she is like the Antichrist. But in all honesty, I think she's just an objectively bad character. She's not likable. You can make a character that is bossy, sassy, and bratty and still likable. Sakura is not one of those characters. As I mentioned earlier, Yusuke's little girlfriend, Keiko, she's like kind of... She's not as bad as Sakura, but she's kind of bossy, you know, but she's still likable. Like, you can make one of these characters and make them still have charm to them. It's just Sakura's not. It's like somebody that's never, ever interacted with a woman before, but heard a girl, like, talking and they thought this is how women are. They just talk and they obsess over guys. I don't know. She's really bad. We got that Sand Village girl. Definitely a much better step up from our main character, Sakura, but she's not really that interesting either. You know, she's not nothing noteworthy. I don't even remember her name. Hinata is like if you asked a guy that's never talked to a woman before in his life, and is actually afraid of women. Like if a woman like says, is sitting next to him in school and drops her pencil and she's like, hey, can you grab that for me? He will like go into fight or flight mode, and he would probably choose freeze because he would be so scared. It's like if you asked that guy what his ideal woman was, he would describe Hinata. Like, she is a nothing burger. And I say this as someone that, when I watched Naruto as a kid, I loved her. I was like, this is the GOAT, bro. And I do ship her with Naruto even now. But now that I'm older and I've seen how women can be written with so much more complexities that don't form their whole identity around their male interest, that has shown no care, no respect, no love, and still goes after Sakura after you confess, like, she just ain't doing it for me. And I know there's been explanations that Naruto didn't remember her confession after, like, he went crazy during the Six Tails pain bullshit. I don't care. I just don't care. I don't like how this dragged on. I don't like how Hinata was, like, how she is. I don't like how meek she is. She's too stereotypical of, like, the perfect meek woman that's always gonna, like, she just only cares about Naruto. And people say the same shit for Mikasa and Eren, but Mikasa has so much more complexity and she cares about other things. Hinata has no other traits than liking Naruto and being kind of pathetic. Like, they try to give her some inferiority complex to Neji, and I think his name's Neji. And I mean, it's not compelling enough for me to even remember what happened. I haven't watched this anime in a long time, but, you know, I still think Naruto's good, and I do recommend people watch it, but don't watch it for the female characters because they're really bad. There's one character on here that's worth mentioning, and it's Tsunade. She's an actual good character. She's solid. She's likable. She's probably the only really decent female character in this anime, but it's not enough to make up for how bad the two main females are that are, like, involved in Naruto's life, which is Hinata and Sakura. And also the final villain is a female character, and she's an asspull and is nothing compared to, you know, Madara, or however you say his name. I always say it wrong. So I'm gonna put this in dog shit, personally. Yeah. The Promised Neverland. Little fun fact, I was reading The Promised Neverland way before the anime adaptation got made, and I really loved it. I loved it. The first chapter I thought was great. The first chapter, the first arc. And as a manga reader, as it continued, you could feel the dip in quality like it was supposed to end on the first arc, which is what the creator intended, but because of the popularity, continued it. I knew when it got announced for an anime, it was going to be popular because the concept is an interesting, engaging concept. These kids are on like a happy little farm being raised to be eaten by demons, but they don't know it. It's like, and they're masterminds, so they gotta figure out a way to escape. Like, this sounds like f***ing Deathnote on steroids, but with little kids. Like, it sounds interesting. But they kind of blew it. They kind of screwed the pooch. It started off really good. It started off with, like, recapturing the vibes that was Deathnote. And I think the creator just didn't know where to take the story. Goldie Pond was a good arc. It was the last good arc of the Promised Neverlands before it really got bad. It wasn't as good as the first arc. Nothing beats the feeling of reading the first arc. Goldie Pond just, they cut it out of the anime. The last good arc, they cut it out. I don't know why, and I knew when I found out they were doing that season 2 was going to flop since the manga already fell off. But I was just like, yeah, no, it's gonna get worse. And I knew people that were telling me they love the Promised Neverlands, and I'm just sitting here like, as a manga reader, okay, yeah, it's good. It's, yeah, the Promised Neverlands, woo! But, with that said, Emma is a good character, but that's it. I mean, I like how she is a main character. I like that she's smart, but she doesn't have dimension to her. That's the problem. She doesn't have layers or depth. There's points in the manga where I felt like she was going to, where she seemed genuinely mad. But she wasn't. She wasn't. She's kind of got no backbone, and she's supposed to be a really smart character, but she doesn't feel that way. She doesn't feel like how Norman and Ray felt. Especially in the first arc. And we find out she's one of the top 3. Like, she's supposed to be as smart as them, but she just doesn't come off that way, and I think it is a sign of poor writing. I think Emma could have been fun and, you know, like girly, not girly, but I'm trying to find the words. She could have been a fun character and, like, saw the light in the darkness and wanting to help everybody while still having more emotions. Like, we see this with characters like Gon, who do have a lot more layers added to them despite, like, their outgoing personality in terrible times, and they do express more emotions. I don't think Emma was as layered as I would like her to be. I think this is gonna be our first and probably only average, because that's just how I feel. I just don't really feel like she makes the plot go up higher, or she don't really stand out for female characters for me. I feel like she could. I mean, I like that she's not written where her gender plays a huge part in how she acts or is, but if her character was replaced with a boy, this story would be no different. She's just, I would still have the same complaints with the character. It's just not a good written character in general, regardless of gender. With that said, we're about to move on from an anime that took one of the biggest nosedives into probably one of the most hated animes. You know, Seven Deadly Sins itself is a wasted potential anime, but we're not here to talk about how it failed. I mean, making every single character a PDF, if you know what I mean, might be one of the reasons. But we're just gonna talk about our females in this anime. So let me think. We got Deanne. And I'm saying Deanne because that's how the anime says her name, so I'm gonna say it that way. And we got Merlin, and we got Elaine. Okay, first off, Elaine is not a good character. She is so generic. She has the same problems Hinata has, where she just feels so not like a person. Like, she's just the ideal girlfriend for the main character. It's like a guy describing their ideal partner, and it's like when they asked Denji what type of woman he likes, and he said girls that are desperate for a boyfriend. It's like if we asked these characters what type of girl they like, and they just say girls that are cute and obsessed with me, or will like do anything for me and only care about me, and I don't know, she's just so basic, which is funny because Elaine has been is her name even Elaine? Let me make sure that's her name. Her name is Elizabeth, y'all. Anyways, Elizabeth has been reincarnated like thousands of times or something, and there's this one redhead version of her that we see flashbacks of, and the current version of her finds out that Meliodas had a relationship with this one and gets jealous over that Elizabeth, but the redhead Elizabeth seems like a far more compelling character than our Elizabeth is. She seems like she actually has personality and dynamicness to her. And I'm not just saying that because she's more like brute and tomboyish. No, it's just she just feels more of like an interesting character, or like a real character, than the current Elizabeth is. And it's crazy because all these Elizabeths are the same person, and at the end, when Elizabeth regains her goddess powers, she has all the memories of all the Elizabeths. Yet for some reason, she doesn't change at all. She acts exactly like how she did before she regained her memories. She's the same character. So was the final Elizabeth that we see, the final reincarnation that we ended up with, just like the most Elizabeth-like? When we see Elizabeth in the past, like she's a super ancient goddess or whatever, she still acts like a modern 16-year-old human Elizabeth. It's so boring. Like, she just regained memories of like 1,000 years, but why is she so boring and basic still? Why did her regaining all her memories of Meliodas changed nothing? It didn't change anything about her. It didn't give her a new level of depth or nuance. It just made her be like, I knew all my feelings were valid. I love Meliodas. I have to go to him right now. And then she just sticks with him like in his little bubble while he's in his demon mode. I don't know, man. It's just so poorly done. Deanne is like, she's also a fucking stereotype of a female character. She's so basic herself. She kind of acts like a tsundere, I guess, and she also is a simp for Meliodas until like they was like, let's pair her with King and also make their relationship creepy by making King groom her, and then she'll grow up before him and he'll still have a kid body, and then she'll be attracted to him while he still has a kid. They're both PDFs. Like, I don't know what to say. Everybody in this anime is PDF. Even my goat Escanor, like, he was the only normal one, and then Merlin became a kid, and this guy says, oh, why don't you keep that form for a little bit longer, Miss Merlin? I like it. Like, no, you don't. You are not Escanor. My Escanor does not like Kid Merlin. He's attracted to adult baddie Merlin, not this. Why is her true form gotta be a kid? Why can't her true form be an adult? I don't understand. Why does everybody gotta have, like, some type of childlike partner? But yeah, Merlin's the only saving grace of the female cast. She's the only one that's actually interesting, even though she's kind of sus. She's very sus. She's kind of bad, but, you know, she's, not the worst. I don't even want to say wasted. It's not even dog... well, Elaine herself makes it dog shit, and maybe Deanne. It's almost average, but just because... if it was just Merlin, it would be average. But the fact that it has, not Elaine, Elizabeth, and Deanne, it's gonna be dog shit. My Hero Academia. I have not watched this in a long time, and I don't have much to say about it. When I watched it, I thought it was pretty good, and I actually got really into it, but I never really got deep into the fandom. I think the female characters were average. Actually, they were kind of bad. They weren't even, like, that bad. We're gonna make this category, instead of calling it wasted, we're just gonna call it wasted or bad. Wasted slash bad. My Hero Academia falls on the bad side of this, or I don't feel like the female characters are wasted. They're just not that good. I like Froki. I don't think that was her name. I like the frog, but I don't think I really like her as a character for her writing. I just like her vibe and aesthetic. Yeah. Sorry, My Hero Academia fans. Maybe when I pick it up, I'll change my opinion. I know there's a character someone I know likes that's America, I think, but I haven't got to that part. I'm on season 4 and I haven't picked it up in a while. JOJO. You know, JOJO's almost non-existent, but I've only watched part 1 and part 2, I'm gonna be honest. And from the fact that part 6, the creator had to fight to get a female lead, and the fact that it has one and she looks cool, and I hear she is cool, and I respect that a lot, I'm gonna give it a good, just for that, even though I haven't seen part 6. I don't care if I get hate, I don't really care, that's all I gotta say. Jolene is cool. I have a lot to say about this one, so I'm gonna move that back. Hunter x Hunter. I recently started watching Hunter x Hunter, and I think this anime is really good. There's a lot of things I would change about it. I wouldn't call it a masterpiece, as some people might say, but I'm not on Chimera Ant arc, which I heard is, like, an amazing arc. I'm only on Greed Island right now. So, I think it's really good. There's not many female characters at all. There is Biscuit, and I think she's really good and cute and funny. I like her character. She makes it almost good, but the fact that she's not really a main character, she's just there for this arc. I think she comes back later. I'm just gonna put it in the non-existent tier. I don't like putting it with Solo Leveling though. That makes me upset. So we're gonna put we're gonna move Solo Leveling to bad. It's on the bad side. No, because they're not even in it, really. Like 100-something chapters with no major female character. Yeah. It's just Hunter x Hunter is gonna be non-existent. I heard in the manga there are some really well-written female characters. I'll read the manga when I finish the anime, so maybe someday I'll update this tier list, but I probably won't. Maybe I'll make a comment, an edited comment, updating this section specifically. FMAB, my favorite anime of all time. And a lot of people's favorite anime of all time, which is well deserved because this anime is an actual masterpiece. Nothing comes close to FMAB. I don't care, like, I'm a glazer. I'm just like all the people on my anime list. Although I don't go through and downvote anime to keep FMAB at the top, but I do think FMAB deserves its spot because it's just so good. It's so good. I think this is going to be the only list you'll ever see FMAB not be at peak. I'm sorry. The female characters of this anime are not that many. We do get a few good ones, and I'm not really in love with any of them. We got Renri, which is cute, and I like how she is. I don't think she's a main character. The teacher, I can't remember her name. I don't think she's that compelling either. Like, so far, I just feel average. Hawkeye, though, is a really good character. I love this lady. I think we can all, any FMAB fan can agree that just that one scene with her was just so chills. I'm just gonna play the scene.
What are you doing, Lieutenant? Do you know who your gun's pointed at?
Who? Don't make me laugh. When it's just us, the Colonel calls me by my first name, Riza.
So you two
You're that close, are you?
I lied. But it was still very nice of you to fall for it, NB.
Just for Hawkeye, it's gotta be good. You know, I would love for every story to have perfectly written female characters. FMAB is the only time I'm like, I don't even need it. Like, these characters are so great with how they were. And the female characters we do have, I just think that all the characters are perfect as they are, and I wouldn't change anything about it. It's a great story. Chainsaw Man. We love Lord Fujimoto in this house. My boy has not only written the best trans character to ever exist in manga, and I will take that to my grave. This guy knows how to write female characters. I won't even include like manga characters like Asa, who is great, even though she's being wasted potential right now. But just from the anime, Power is one of my, if not my favorite female character of all time. She is so feral. She's so feral and nasty. I love how she is not sexualized at all in this story. Even the scenes where she like gets Denji to touch her chest, it's like a learning experience in a weird way for Denji. It's not done in a sexual framing, even though it is kind of hot. It's not sexual. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like, there's even scenes where we see Power fully naked running around, but she's not drawn or depicted in a sexual way. She's depicted as like this feral creature. That's how her whole essence and her embodiment is. I love how she loves cats too. She is just really fun. She's a fun character. There's no way you cannot like this character unless you're my ex for some reason that put her on like an A or an a B tier when she's an S tier character. Hello? But I don't know. Anyways, we got Makima. She is a great villain. Honestly, I hate the fandom's depiction of Makima, because if you were to never watch this anime and just like see the fandom, Makima is just a dami mommy, sexy, curvy, giant butt, giant breast woman that is like gonna seduce you at every turn. But in reality, she's a menace. She is so intimidating. Her whole aura and vibe and just everything about her presence is just eerie. She's so cool. Like, she's really cool and manipulative. She is a super master manipulator. She is in control of everything. I love Makima, and another thing about her is she's drawn like an actual woman. Her body looks like a woman. I don't think Fujimoto, despite how horny his mangas are, I don't think he is on that that fake body BBL type stuff, because all the women he draws look like women. I love it because I can see my body in these women. I know there's variety, everybody has different body types, but it is nice seeing people with kind of more average chest size, you know, little curves, not nothing too crazy, not nothing One Piece level. It's just nice, you know, their bodies are nice. The characters are great. It's peak. These characters are peak. Above Soul Eater, because the overall writing of Chainsaw Man is definitely better. Deathnote. I'm tempted to put this in dog shit because I do not like Misa, but I'm so sorry. I know all my like insane girlies love this chick. I know she's like the Hello Kitty girl archetype queen, you know. She's kind of a yandere and she's goth. I don't like her. She's just so... I hated how she let Light play her. And it makes me mad because I know if I had that disrespect from a man, I would be unhinged too, but I would not be after him. I would be unhinged and trying to ruin him. So why is she taking this? I don't understand. She's too pretty for that. She's like the only female character, but there's not like a huge ensemble cast in this anime. I don't even want to put in dog shit because the dog shit characters of this list are worst. And I think Misa has a lot of traits that I think there's a reason why a lot of girls love this character. because there is a lot of fun aspects in her, and there is some relatability with her insane clinginess. I just don't. I can't. I won't be mean and put her in dog shit despite how much I think she's dog shit. Just to be nice to my girlies that love her and my femcel queens that think they're her. We'll put her in average. Okay, that's it. I'm sorry. That's it. Let's just go ahead and get Fireforce out the way, because this one's gonna be quick. I don't know how. You know, most writers, most mangaka, they write their story and then they, you know, they improve and make a new story, and they work on the things that they didn't get right in their first one. This guy regressed. He made Soul Eater, which has peak female characters, and then somehow managed to make dog shit. That's right. I don't care. I just know there's a character that's literally fan service in this shit. There's a whole ass scene where they're like, is an evil clone of this character. I think her name's Tamaki. There's an evil clone of Tamaki. They're like, which one's the real Tamaki? And then the real Tamaki slips and all her clothes just fly off. They're like, ah, that's her. And I'm just sitting here, and all the seriousness that I felt, or like the me being sucked into the anime, was just pulled out, because I'm just like, this is like catering to guys that want to jerk off. I don't want to jerk off to Tamaki, y'all. I don't know. There's another character, and she looks pretty cool, but she's wasted potential. They don't do nothing with her. And then there's another character, and she's like this nun chick. She's so stereotypical and boring and not fleshed out, and is a damsel. I don't know. There's nothing like she just goes there and it's like, I gotta do the blessing. Let me do the blessing. And then everybody's like, hey, we can't kill them yet. We gotta wait for her to do the blessing. So here I am thinking like, oh shit, the blessing? This has gotta be, you know, some major plot point. They literally cannot kill the fire demons or whatever they're called until the blessing is done. But no, it's just like a respect thing. I mean, it's fine doing it that way. I just thought it would be cooler. I thought she would have more purpose. But she's more of a liability. And I don't even remember her name. I don't remember any female characters. The only thing I really remember is the main character, his smiling problem, which is kind of relatable in some ways. It's like when you laugh during the bad times, and it's really weird. And the cool-ass fight scene between main character and his brother, and how season 2 did not pick up from that, so I dropped it. But yeah, it's dog shit for me. Dragon Ball Z Kai, I guess I should say, but because that's the one I watched and is the better one in my opinion. I'm not gonna do Super. I know Super has like Cleffa or Khalifa and whatever. I heard they're really good, which that's cool. I like that a female Saiyan is what is part of the reason Goku got Ultra Instinct. I heard, anyways, from somebody, but the same somebody told me that also said that he got Ultra Instinct from Jiren. So I think I'm a little confused, but I don't know. I gotta watch Super. I'm only on episode 90. But for Z, there isn't that many female characters, but we do have Bulma, and Bulma is like so iconic. I love this character. She's an example of a character that is bossy and don't take no shit. So is Chi-Chi, but is still likable. I know a lot of people don't like Chi-Chi, but I think she's great too, especially as someone that's watched the original Dragon Ball series, and I have always loved Chi-Chi. She was so cute and in love with Goku, and I love how they ended up getting married at the tournament thing, and she came to fight him. I don't know, Chi-Chi's great, but I want to talk about Bulma because she's our star. She's the first girl that Goku meets, and I love how they don't even get together. It's like they avoided the first girl trope and the childhood friend trope at the same time, and we get to meet We get to see how Bulma grows and how she changed, and she changes her hairstyle a lot. I mean, she's a queen. She looks good in all her forms, except for maybe Afro Bulma. I don't know what she was going for there. I don't hate the look. I'm just not a fan of it, really, but if you like it, that's valid. I'm just not a big fan. But I love how Bulma, while she's not a Saiyan, she don't have powers. She is a genius. And she does things that actually move the plot. She made the dragon radar. She made the ships. They would not have got to Namek without my queen. She invented time travel. The Cell Saga would not have happened without my queen. Why is nobody talking about Bulma? Because she really carried this shit on her back. She is like created like half the time capsule, the Capsule Corp shit. Like, she knows her stuff. She tamed Vegeta, who is one of the best characters in the show. She tamed this guy. Like, she actually fixed him. She did the I can fix him, and then she did it. She is an absolute girl boss, and I just love her. I love Bulma. She's great. Great female character. Then we got Android 18, who is an awesome villain. She's not like the most powerful villain, but every time Dragon Ball introduces a new villain, the previous one seems weaker by default. But you know, at the time, she was a menace, and she was so fun too. Her and 17 had really good dynamic with each other, and it's our only really female villain of Dragon Ball, I'm pretty sure. And I think she was written just as well as 17 was, and she was great, and we love her. So, but mainly for Bulma, I'm gonna put it in great, just because I love Bulma so much. Well, it is lacking female characters, so I want to put it in good, but the few we have are just really well done. Even though the writing of Dragon Ball itself isn't like the most in-depth writing, but you know. DandaDan, 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 DandaDan. So with all the things I've said about DandaDan, you would think that I dislike this show. I do not. I actually really like it, and I think Momo is a really good character. She reminds me a lot of Ryuko from Kill la Kill. She has a very similar vibe, although albeit less tomboyish than Ryuko was. And I do like Ryuko more. I think she's just more likable. But I don't dislike Momo at all. I think she's a really good character. I think she's handled poorly in a lot of scenes by the writers. There's a lot of really weird scenes I don't like, but I like how she is the main character, and I like how we get to see her feelings. I like Eri, the pink-haired girl, but I'm not really vibing with her as much as the fandom is. It's weird because a lot of the fandom don't like Gigi because they consider him a threat, but they're fine with Eri, or whatever her name is. Riri? I don't know her name, guys. I'm not gonna look it up. But they're fine with her, and it's kind of weird. It's like every time a girl comes close to Okarun, it's like, oh, he's the Riz Lord, he's the Riz Master, look at all these girls that want him. But a guy breathes in the direction of Momo. I hate this character. He's the worst thing that ever happened to this manga or anime. So, I don't know, man. I don't like how the fandom is for this anime a lot, which makes me biased against it. Because they act like this is just peak. Like, we have peaked with this anime. And they act like it's better than it is in a lot of ways. It's really good. The grandma's overhyped. She's not a grandma. I don't like female characters like that are considered to be old, but they don't look like it. And I guess she kind of acts like it, but not enough. But just because of how much I like Momo, I'll put this in peak. And I like certain stories in this really well. Like the Silky ballet dancer story. I won't say much about that. It was just really sad. But we're gonna put it in peak, even though I had a lot of critiques to say. With all that said, I think Momo is just really well written. She reminds me a lot of Ryuko. I would add Kill la Kill on this list, but I don't feel like it. Kill la Kill would be peak, by the way, just because I love every female character in that story. Yeah, I think Momo is written equally to the guys, if not better, other than the weird essay scenes. And I'm not saying we can't depict essay in media. You know, I love Game of Thrones. It's my favorite show of all time, and I love media that does depict that, but I think you have to do it in taste and in certain ways, and I don't think DandaDan really knows how to do that well. And the fact that they did it not once but twice, maybe even 3 times? It might have just been twice, but I feel like I remember a third event of this happening, or it almost happened again during the flood episode. But I just wish they would drop that. Then this would be a little bit better. But with that said, I think she's still really good character, and I like how she is the main character instead of Okuron. Yeah, and I love how she's really cool too. She's got some powers and stuff, and that's fun. I love the opening too. And I like her relationship. Okay, that's enough. That's Demon Slayer. You know, everybody was hyped up about Demon Slayer, but now a lot of people agree it is. I read the entire manga for Demon Slayer. I was actually reading Demon Slayer before it got an anime too. And I really liked it. And I really loved Nezuko, as many people do, because she's a cute character. She's fun, you know, she's adorable and she's cool. As I read more and more, I realized she doesn't do much. She's kind of like the token. She's a mascot character. She feels like she's just meant to be what you think of when you see the story. There's also the butterfly girl, a character named Tamayo, I think, who's a demon, and then Mizuri, who is the fan service character without being fully fan service like fucking Tamaki was from Fireforce, but she's still a fan service character. And the whole world loves this character because she's cute. I don't like her. I mainly don't like her because of personal reasons, because so it doesn't really count. But yeah, with my bias against her, it makes me really not like it. I don't like the butterfly girl that much either. I don't really know why. I don't have a reason. I think she's a good character. I just think I don't like any of them, actually. I like Nezuko, but she's not that well written. They're not even non-existent. And they're worse than average. It's gonna go in wasted or bad. Now, last but not least, we have Jujutsu Kaisen. So, the funny thing about JJK is this anime got announced and, not announced, but it came out and people, I remember watching video essays of girls and people talking about how well the female characters were and how modern shonen has like good female characters now. It does not. For the most part, it's about the same as it's always been. But Nobara was often used as an example of like, returning a tide. Shonen has good female characters now. Like, she's great. And I watched it and I was like, oh my gosh, they're right. I loved her. Like, I thought she was it does the classic shonen thing where it's like we got, you know, 3-ish characters that are like a group and we're gonna see them fight cursed spirits together and it's gonna be fun and they're gonna play off each other. That's how season 1 of JJK is. And I loved it. I ate it up. I loved Nobara's cool like hammer curse technique. I thought it was really cool how she used it to fight the cursed paintings. I love that whole episode. I love when we learn more about her story, her backstory. I love her relationship with Yuji and how sibling coded they were. They really felt close. I love when Maki got introduced, and it kind of felt like we had something going on with Maki and Nobara. I remember my friend once sent me a drawing that of Maki and Nobara, was like, yeah, this was reminder, this is what Gege officially drew, and I was just like, bruh, I've been had this picture saved on my phone for like way before you sent me this, like, come on now. But yeah, that being said, then we got season 2. Season 2, Gege decided like that he wanted to become a Naruto fan, and he started like realizing, oh man, I hate women. You know what, I'm just gonna write them out, like I hate them. And so that's what he did. He just got rid of Nobara. And I remember this guy that I was friends with, he's just like telling me how season 2 was so much better than season 1, and season 2 was really good. It will really hook you, and it has some of the best animation I've ever seen in anime. But there's a lot of things that changed, and killing off Nobara, even though she isn't really dead, and I told everyone she wasn't dead, nobody believed me, but I was right. Because if they really wanted her dead, they wouldn't even add that scene of like, oh, I suppressed the curse or whatever. Just killing her off like that, or getting rid of her character, was such a lame ass thing they did. They act like Gege destroyed that character, and I'm really sad about it. I really loved her character. And then another thing they did that I hated was they added in this, oh wait, that's manga. I was thinking of Hana, who is basically the replacement for Nobara, who also sucks, and my same friend liked her a lot. And I always never liked that character because I always felt like she was a replacement for Nobara. She was, but she was just worse. And her little angel thingy went nowhere either. Okay, anime only, anime only. Yuki? Wasted potential. Maki was cool. I'm biased against her. And I don't want to say why. This is my bias list, you know. Seeing my ex talk to AI and pay money to talk to AI chat bots to flirt with Maki, and him joining JJK hentai servers. I'm biased. I'm really biased. It's wasted and bad. Maki was really good up until I became biased against her, and I don't really know what they did with her character. I heard they didn't really take her anywhere cool. Nobara was just the definition of wasted potential. And who else? Yuki, the definition of wasted potential. We have a PDF character, so you know, that's something. Women can be PDFs too. Hashtag girl power, am I right? Yeah. Okay, well, anyways, this is my tier list based off writing alone. If you think I got something wrong, comment below, but I don't really have much to say. It's more just my personal opinions, and this list is biased, as you can see from some of my reasonings. But yeah, that's it. Thank you, and have a nice day. Bye! Edit. So I forgot to include Attack on Titan somehow. It's peak, obviously. I mean, it's great, so I mean, the female characters are really good at it. So yeah, bye.